Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chemda,
Yes.
do you use fan noise or white noise when you go to sleep? I used to thought white noise was like people fall asleep to Fox News, but they mean like fans and stuff. Do you do that?
I don't. There was a brief, maybe week or two that I used those yoga-ish, spa-ish things, just kind of for white noise. But then Xerxes started staying over and he was like, let's try it without it. And I was like, what? I'll never. It was fine. So
Kyle does that. My girlfriend, not Rittenhouse. And when I'm at her house, in fact, she even set up the kids with it. So they're going to be addicted to that stuff because I need it in my house now. When I'm by myself and I turn it on, I'm out in 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm up, I'm scrolling, et cetera, et cetera. I love it. And I don't like that. I love it.
interesting. It's so weird because you had the solution before you had the problem.
Yeah, there was
Is that
no
what it's
problem.
like to be a guy?
we get solutions we don't want as guys. We're just trying to get. I wonder if she does it so that I'm not comfortable being somewhere else without the white noise. Like, let's say I go to, I'm with another woman. It's going to be weird to start turning on white noise. So that's not going to work out. You know what I mean? You can't have, because she even, when we have sex, she even turns on white noise. She says it cools her down. I think it's so that I'm not able to get hard with other women if there's not a big machine there.
I think everything Kyle does is a big conspiracy against your dick with other women.
You know what, funny lady?
Yeah.
I have this later on in the show, but I just read that we can't tell when people lie to us 50% of the time. So there's a lot of lying going on. Okay. I'm not saying her. I'm just saying there's something up with this white noise.
Most of that lying is to ourselves, really. Let's face it.
I can only get hard in Kyle's house, an airplane hangar, and like a tour of walk-in freezers.
Then it's working. Shout out to Kyle.
It might be. And now I see on YouTube, these fan websites are competing for your 9 hours. We do 10 hours, 10 hours plus one bonus hour of fan noise. And I came across one that says we have 8 fans and they have a picture of 8 fans. It sounds like one fan, obviously, but right. I don't think they can go 9 fans because people would be like, that would blow your house down. Well, 8's the best because people are liking it. People are liking this, but I don't know. I just don't like that I got too into it. Today's guest is Hannah Boone, and she's goddamn fantastic. Here's a tweet. Our bodies shut down routinely, and during that time, we're transported to worlds unknown where anything is possible. And we just wake up and put on pants. Absolute freaks. She's right. It is where we're in this dream world. I had the most weirdest, vivid dream the other day. And then you're like, and good morning. Time to pick up the newspapers. Motherfucker, I was Mars. But all right. Big announcement really before we introduce her. Not yet. It's just a tease. This Friday is Black Friday. Monday is Cyber Monday. Use code BLACK at keithandthegirl.com/store for 50% off all digital items. That's code BLACK, BLACK, at keithandthegirl.com/store.
Honestly, that's too much. So
it's a lot. 50% all digital items.
Okay. Let's do. What else do we got? Don't worry about that.
Okay. If they don't figure out what that means.
Yeah.
All right. Also next week, no big deal. It's Ken's birthday. Okay.
Yes. Hello, world.
Well, this is how bad we are at business. She's giving you the present. Use code BIRTHDAY to join OMAT for free for a week. Sign up. You can just sign up for 1 week. That's it. There's not a trick attached to it. Sign up now and join us this Monday for OMAT Birthday Week. 1 minute at a time, her program. You'll see what I'm talking about if you're confused. Go to keithandthegirl.com/OMAT. Use code BIRTHDAY. And it's the final few days of our Kickstarter campaign. So thank you to all the backers. Please support the show at keithandthegirl.com/kick. We have some videos up there, some great rewards. Again, katg.com/kick. It means a lot. All right. Today's guest. Oh, everybody's favorite. The podcast is called Disordered. Check out boonecomedy.com. Hannah Boone. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And we're about to find out how are you. But it's good to see you. How are you today?
I'm good. I do hate the tweet reading part of the show. I'm glad you do
Yeah.
it first and we get it over with. It's very scary.
Yes, we're saving it to the end. But first, let's talk about easier things to talk about. The Ahmaud Arbery trial has reached the verdict. The three men that got out of a truck and went over to this black guy jogging and shot him because there are break-ins in the neighborhood, car break-ins in the neighborhood. They have all, you never know now. This world,
I don't
you
know.
never know.
Can I tell you, Keith? I actually don't know. So you're breaking the news to me, and I can't. Maybe 50% of people are lying, and I don't know it because I cannot tell by your face what happened. I can't tell.
All three.
Oh God.
Guilty all charges.
Wow. Okay.
I think I don't want to believe in an Illuminati, but I do think somebody in charge is like, all right, Kyle Rittenhouse, he has big names on his side. Let's do that one first.
Mm.
Then we'll do the Hicks and Arbery trial that don't have any money, and we'll do them second. And that'll calm people down in time for Thanksgiving. I can't help but wonder it. Let's see. The jury in Ahmaud Arbery's trial has reached the verdict. Travis McMichael was found guilty on all charges, including malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment. Gregory McMichael is a father and son. Felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, criminal attempt to commit a felony. It's weird they wouldn't all be the same, but okay. Not found guilty on malice murder. It was benign murder. Okay. Well, good for him. Neighbor William Roddy Bryan was found guilty on felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, criminal attempt to commit a felony. He was not found guilty of malice murder, 1 count each of felony murder and aggravated assault. Well, good. How about that? Now, I was really confused by that. The Rittenhouse, I never know what's what. I've said this a million times by now, but when that insurrection was on TV, I'm like, is this even going to be a big deal? Is anybody going to care?
I know you don't know anymore, but your energy is on fire right now. Hannah, am I right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just like, we have to let this happen. Like, I can't, there's nothing I can do about this, right?
Yeah, I feel like I think you phrased it exactly right. A lot of stuff is going to happen right now. It feels like Keith is jazzed. I feel like he's a social studies teacher that would still make people look through the newspaper, clip something out and write about it.
Sure. and only to find their mistakes.
Right. And then just only grammatically fix it.
Yeah. You know what? I had a teacher that did that once. One of the assignments was go into the newspaper and cut out when they make grammar mistakes. I'm like, how do you know?
Oh.
And they're like, they will. This is Somerset. And so I just took all the headlines. I'm like, they keep capitalizing all the wrong words. They're like, well, this doesn't count. And I'm like, really? Because it was the easiest fucking assignment I ever did. I just turned in every headline because it's written fucked up.
Oh my God, this is where it started. This is the origin story.
Yeah.
This is happening. Okay, sure.
It's my teachers.
I've never heard Keith's story from school where he gets more excited as he says it. He's like, is that the assignment? Oh, it's like he just did Coke or something. This is so confusing.
Well, I just knew it was easy. It was an easy assignment. You just take the headlines.
No,
she's like, oh, that's a different rule we didn't teach. And I'm like, how's that my fault?
Why didn't that count? I don't get it. It's grammar.
Probably you could tell I'm lazy. You could tell I'm not in any real paragraphs. I only did my headline trick. Two examples would have been plenty, not 15.
You really need to write that teacher back and say, here, I do that. Like you started something and that ball has been rolling.
It's on you. Yeah. I've done it. And then if they're assuming they passed away, I'll tell their kids or something. The family needs to know.
Absolutely. Yeah. It needs to be in the newspaper, ironically.
Yeah. Track them down, track down the family and tell them how much you obsess about grammar.
Ben Katzner wrote, Kyle Rittenhouse would have faced more scrutiny, by the way, dating Kim Kardashian than he did for killing 2 people. Oh, I love this country. Hannah Boone wrote, I'm not a good enough writer to describe how much I hate America. Do these things, like you were so open talking about rehab and things you go through, other times, including the very last show people should check out. But do things like this trigger you?
Oh, I was so upset. I was just so angry. Me and my friends talked about it a lot. It was weird to not be surprised at all, but also be that. I thought because I wasn't going to be surprised, I would, but I got pretty upset. I was mad for sure.
I'm reading. We talked about Aaron Rodgers and how he lied, implying that he had the vaccine and he never had it, but still, hanging around with everybody. He now has something called COVID toe. And people that didn't get, some people that didn't get the vaccine now have a fucked up toe, and his toe is purple. It can get lesions, and it's very painful. Yeah, you know what's less painful? I know Dr. Joe didn't tell you this, but the vaccine. Had it twice.
I hadn't heard of this. I hadn't heard of this toe thing.
I didn't either. But now if the football quarterback did.
Well, it's like if you get COVID, you can get the COVID toe, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that my friend had she had like COVID feet, or I guess COVID toe. She got COVID
really?
In the very, very beginning of all of this. And she said her feet were super fucked up, and I didn't know what she meant. And I saw this was like very rashy and yeah, it was like a weird phenomenon.
Yeah. Is she a quarterback?
Yes.
Oh, so that's gotta be painful.
Yeah.
You need that. They're stepping on his feet deliberately. Referees have to keep an eye on that, Come on. I saw the new TV show Dope Sick. Do you watch stuff like that, Hannah?
I haven't seen Dope Sick.
Do you enjoy things like that? Do you enjoy shows like that?
I don't know anything about Dope Sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. This one happens to be, I just figured the name was obvious, but this one happens to be about the opioid epidemic and Purdue, the pharmacy, making up lies about it being addictive, said less than 1% become addictive. Purdue was the one who made up that pain scale, calling it a new vital sign. When you see that pain scale in a hospital, 1 to 10, it was created by them under a fake name so that they could prescribe OxyContin.
So that when you say 10, that means give me OxyContin? Is that why?
If you say over 5, yeah.
I used to say 10 all the time. I would go in for like an ear infection and I'd be like, it's a 9.
I had to learn how to say 10 because that's all they're scaling it on. I'm just like, Hi, I'm having trouble breathing and it's affecting my life. And they're like, well, scale of 1 to 10. I'm just like, well, I'm still sitting here talking to you, so I'm still alive. I assume 10 is like my final words, but it's not. 10 is just, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, this is a TV show, and usually TV shows drag on for me, but I love this a lot. But when it comes to movies, I like movies about alcoholics. I like movies about people from hick towns. That's why I was asking, do you enjoy that stuff? I
do. And I used to love the show Intervention when I was still using, actually.
Right.
And now I watch it less. I don't know. Something going on there. But I really like documentaries. There was like a great documentary about the opioid epidemic in Boone County, specifically in Virginia. That was like really, really good, but I forget the name of, but I love knowing what's going on in the recovery community. And
well, you got to check out Boone County.
You gotta. Yeah, I have to. Yes.
Keith, you know about Mallytown? I'm like, for what? I'm not going to look it up. It can be in England, of course.
I just watched a movie, Thank You for Sharing. Have you guys seen that? It's available on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's pretty new. No? Well, anyway, It's about sex addicts. And I also love movies about addicts because it shows the relationship not only that they have, but people have been getting so good about addiction that the meetings are more accurate and the relationships around them are more accurate and people's responses are more accurate, where it just used to be like this completely fall down drunk, like can't manage themselves. Nothing else is good. What they forget is like people like being around people in their addiction while they're doing it. And now they're at least depicting that, like, why did you choose that? How much fun it is. And then also how much pain it is as well. But that well-rounded thing is so much better.
It's so much better. I love my friend sold a TV show and there's going to be like NA featured in it next season. And he's done such a good job of like going to meetings and like asking me about it and like really diving. Cause I see so many meetings in movies that are like, I saw a meeting in a movie the other night where a guy yelled at another guy, like, you tell him about alcoholism. You explain to him what it's like. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I would never.
I am yelling anytime they show an anonymous meeting in a movie or show. I'm yelling at the screen going, no one's doing that to you at the meeting. Like forcing you to share, like staring at you until you say something like, come on, it's your turn. It's like, holy shit. what meeting? That meeting should be shut down. So this place had meetings so much better. And then they did one thing, and I'm like, oh, don't turn into an asshole, Chemda. The one guy was going through something, and you're supposed to call your sponsor so that like they help you detach from it and maybe make a better decision. He's calling a sponsor, and the sponsor doesn't pick up. And I'm like, okay, let me calm down. But this is also not accurate. You just call your sponsor. And if that sponsor is not available, you go kill yourself. It's like you have like a list of 10, 20, 100 people that you call, whether you've ever said anything to them or not. They're part of that meeting. So I'm yelling at the screen like, everything else is accurate. Why you can't? And this is the turning point. You can't just rely on this. This isn't actual recovery. And
yeah, it's like my football is like movies about addiction. I just yell at the screen and I'm like, no, you can't do it like that.
Anyway, it was a good movie though. Thank you for sharing.
The thing with my TV show is that I was addicted to it. I saw all 8 episodes in a row while I'm smoking weed, by the way. You're kidding me.
Well, I am like happy to see more representation about addiction because I feel like so misunderstood so much of the time, and there's so much stigma and all of that. So, and people do get hurt by it. So I understand resentment towards it, but there's just so much like that people don't know. So it's nice to see it represented.
It definitely shows you the pain of addiction. This show, Dopesick. My favorite part stuff, but that I could tell is a sample of all these different people. You put them into 3 different people. So to me, the more exciting stuff is Purdue being so slimy. Because to me, I'm like, those I'm sure are facts. But I mean, doctors are just going off the rich white people who are just making up terms and facts. Well, then the customers are the customers. The patients are waking up but you're right. The patients are waking up in pain. It doesn't last 12 hours. Tell them that happens sometimes. You have to individualize the doses. So if 10 keeps you, 10 doesn't work out, go to 20. You already are at 40, go to 8. They're making pills 160, if not more. And then they show doctors throughout the country use terms as if it's not. What are you on the pain scale? Well, we're going to individualize your dose.
Now, let me ask you this, Keith, because you're amped up, is it possible for you to reach in there and tell us what feeling you have? Because you're feeling something.
Disgust.
I just can't. Okay. Is there like a personalized jab that's happening to you because you're more amped than usual? Is there like, do you feel it personally?
I know it's about to be Thanksgiving. I won't see people till Monday, and I'm shot out of a cannon, maybe. Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe between half a bottle of 5-Hour Energy and half an apple. Maybe this is what you get. I don't know. But it's good to be here.
It's exciting. It's new. It's fun. It's a different Keith.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
To see this movie, you will like it. You'll learn a lot. It's fantastic. It's the best, and it's Barry Levinson. This guy did Rain Man, Sleepers, Good Morning Vietnam, Wag the Dog, Disclosure. I mean, come on, people.
I will say being asked a question by this version of Keith is alarming. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I wasn't already answering you before you asked. I don't know.
But they were showing all these people, popping the more potent pills. And I remember, I had bad knees, and my doctor gave hydrocodone like at the lowest, and then you feel like you start needing it until you realize, okay, I think it's been years now, and you're not setting me up with any other. I go, where can I get surgery from? The pain doctor's like, oh, I don't know that.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. And then, you still need it a little bit. So I'm like, all right, I'm not dealing with this guy. I'll walk it off, no pun, on my own. And then some time goes by and it's, it amps up again. And I got pills illegally. And this guy had the 60 milligrams. And one day I made it a me day. I don't know if you remember this. I talked about it on the last marathon as soon as the show started. I took a whole one of those. Usually I'd cut them up. I had tendonitis that night. Freaked the fuck out of me. My ear on its own is going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I look it up, and that is one of the side effects. And then I was like, okay, forget that. So when I'm seeing people in this TV show being prescribed that naturally, that's bad shit.
Wow.
Thank you.
That shit's powerful. My boyfriend just got surgery and like minor surgery. And the doc.
Hannah, we're gonna ask you about your boyfriend. Okay,
it has to do with pills, and I have to bring him up. Yeah,
your boyfriend.
he got minor surgery, and he's in recovery. And they were like, yeah, "Okay, we're gonna prescribe you like whatever." And he was like, "Oh no pain pills." And the doctor like argued with him and was like, "You're going to want them." And he was like, "No, I'm in recovery." And he's like, "But this is for surgery." And he was like, "Doesn't make a difference. Like, I can't, for me, I can't." And then he was like, "Fine." And then they prescribed it anyway.
Oh,
it was crazy. And he just like didn't fill it. But like, can you imagine?
Wow.
Like, I would have been like shaking, like, oh my God.
Right.
That's a lot to go through. What did he do for pain? Just ride it out?
Tylenol. Yeah. Yeah, so it hurts, like it sucks, but he's like, it's not worth totally falling down, like having to start over again if I get to,
Good for him. Can you share how many years sober, or is that? I know you.
Oh,
you
not years.
You shouldn't tell his story. Is he in his first year?
Yeah, we both are. Yeah. I said this on the last pod, and then I did not look at comments under it because I knew what people would think. But yeah, no, we both met in early recovery.
Yeah, she was saying that supposedly they have to follow the rules. We can't even fuck now if we didn't go to our meetings yet. Are you on top of all that stuff?
Oh yeah,
we do. I still go to meetings every day, but no, we see each other more than like twice a week now. It's like we've adjusted to like, okay, this is like we don't have to, but we do have to make sure that we're like going to our program and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is tough to wait a year. I know you got to follow these people that figured out the rules, but I didn't. It's like a year I just look at chicks. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Well, just for reference, there are no rules. It's suggested.
Good.
It's suggested as like, hey, this usually works a little bit better and your life gets a better response if you follow this suggestion, but do you and just keep coming back.
Yeah. And I like, we've talked about it. I get it. Like, I get like why being single would be a way to go. Like a relationship's a lot of work and you're not really supposed to have major changes because you're so fragile. I should say I'm so fragile and everything, but I don't know. My sponsor was like, hey, I was in a relationship from the first week I was sober. So it's fine. So like, What
do you think, by the way, of this stat? Can this be true? On average, humans can only spot lies with 54% accuracy. Oh, I'm scrolling down. It says, not true, gotcha, 46% accuracy. What the fuck? Oh my God. Half the time we don't know when someone's lying to us. I mean, does that count like have a nice day? It implies they give a fuck. Is that a lie of omission?
People have gotten away with a lot with me. I don't really, anything anyone says, I'm like, sure, totally. And I don't know why I'm like that. But
right.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever caught someone in a lie.
Also, I don't know that I guess we are looking for lies, but in general, the detection is not up all the time because it doesn't really largely affect you. It's like, well, you're not my partner and we're not making big life decisions. So if you're lying to me right now, like, I don't know that you didn't go to the concert last night. I don't know that you are secretly talking to somebody because I'm not in your life. So yeah, maybe people are just lying all the time and we don't always pay attention because it's not, I don't know, it doesn't affect us really.
Yeah, I mean, I've detected lies where like if I have plans with someone and they text me at 5 and I get a text from 5 a.m. that's like, I don't feel good. And then I'm like, oh, you were out. You're on cocaine. Right. Like you're like, this is a lie. But like, I don't care. I've never caught someone in like a big lie.
Right. I guess I'm just somebody would say something obvious. And you've heard me do this on this show. And I just think it's funny to go, doubt it. And now I'm going to do it more because does this mean my friends are lying to me 50% of the time? Does the math work this way? Because now I'm thinking about when my friend Craig said the Jennifer Lawrence movie Mother made complete sense and he didn't have to look up the meaning and any idiot can figure it out. I think that I knew it. I knew that was a lie. I knew it.
Why
I did feel that way about Mother.
You understood it completely?
Like pretty much, yeah.
You were like, oh, the Bible, duh.
I was like, it's an allegory. Yeah.
It's an allegory. He sat the party people sat on the sink and broke it and water went everywhere. Noah's Ark. I get it. Next story.
Well, I understood that the baby had to be, she was like either Mary or Mother Earth, and the baby had to be like Jesus-y. Like, I was like, this is like, I got the idea. I couldn't write you an essay on it, but I was like, I kind of get this.
Well, here's what I like. Today I saw IMDb, the movie people. Fans discuss the most confusing movies they've ever seen. The picture they happen to use, the cover of Mother. I knew it. Nice try, Hannah. Nice try, Craig. You've been busted.
You know how many times Craig has been busted, like about Mother, first of all, just the movie.
I'm still giving him a chance.
Yeah. And like, you can't tell a feeling to Keith because he will be like, doubt it. I don't think you're in this particular percentile of not knowing, because you say doubt it like at least once to every guest. Like, I don't know, I'm missing something. You can't trick me. These are all your phrases.
We're lied to 50% of the time. I was right. This is the science. We are lied to 50%. If anything, I'm underreporting doubt it.
I wish Keith never found that, because I feel like, Keith, you already moved through the world as if everyone's trying to trick you, and you're always trying to figure it out. And you're like, I don't know about that. And it's like, no, I just said a feeling. And you're like, oh, not today. Right. Like, you do that anyway.
But if I may correct you, I'm not trying to figure them out. At least I hope I'm doing better at that. I see David Blaine on the street. I go, no. And I leave. I don't ask, how did he write a card on my chest? I'm like, forget the fuck out of here.
That's true. That's true. Because I have been here where I'm like, hey, this is confusing. Can you clarify it? And Keith goes, nope, I have all the info I need.
Right.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I think I gave you enough time. I got it. Absolutely. Get the fuck out of here. You know,
boy, Keith, this is the first time I ripped on air, and
it's fun, right?
It's fun if you're ready, but I'm like, is this piece of paper important? Because why else would I print it?
Yeah, you did do a double take.
Yeah, we've been doing this. I've been ripping now somewhere around 17 odd years. But in the beginning, I have lost very important notes. So someone said why the last show was so short, and it's because I ripped up the wrong shit.
We've had to redo our taxes several times.
Yes.
It's a problem.
I was trying to be funny. Because I love movies so much, the weird opinions on movies stick with me. And this story will always stick with me, that I went to see the movie Ex Machina with somebody. And I looked up, what does Ex Machina mean, before I went. And it was taken from Deus Ex Machina, Latin for God from the machine, a person or thing that appears all of a sudden in a movie. When a movie's too complicated, it's like the hand of God. It ends the movie. You know, like I had the lottery ticket the whole time. Oh, the end. Well, that worked out good. It's something like that. So I see this movie and the guy goes to me, do you know what Ex Machina means? I'm like, nah, but I guess we'll find out. And he goes, it's from Deus Ex Machina, Latin for God from the machine, a person or thing that appears. I'm like, you looked it up too, and you're acting like I'm stupid because I didn't get it. I look at this guy sideways all the time.
I just want you to know, Hannah, this is why he drank. I mean, this is the trauma in Keith's life now that his father isn't beating him. So it's like a weird transition of energy.
Well, it's also what you're describing is like being on a date with a man. It's a lot of like, I Googled this and here it is. And me going, okay, right. I know, or I didn't know, but I also wasn't going to ask.
And why would you take the first Google? You were so sure I didn't Google it? Scroll down to the second definition or something. Oh, well. Yeah, here's a note I took. It's weird that Craig, for example, now I'm learning Hannah.
Oh, poor Craig. Hi, Craig. You're a nice person. And
poor Craig. Yes, Miriam, I dare you.
Absolutely. I don't need to marry everyone who's poor. Craig, you're very nice. And that was in no way any information about your financial situation. Just poor Craig that you're Keith's close friend.
So me and Craig, we obviously get along. Don't ask how, right? So, but this is one of my closest friends. How can we look at a movie like a movie? Let's take Mother. and completely get something totally different out of it. Him something, me nothing. How are we from the same Mother Earth or Mary or God? How is this possible? Did scientists get to the bottom of this? How could we be so different, especially if you're religious?
Keith, are you having an existential crisis? Because that's all this is, a philosophy class. You know that?
What's the answer?
The answer is we all have different perspectives. And sometimes we even have the wrong perspective. Even though our eyes were physically on it, we might have the entire story of our history puts a different perspective on the experiences that we have. And that's why a lot of times people have completely separate. You could be growing up in the same house and still have a different perspective, a different view.
Yeah,
so
how?
one child can have a different upbringing.
Don't say it like it's a fact. How? I'll tell you how. It's the red strand in the DNA and it needs taken out. That causes craziness. And I think Craig has a little too much of that. I don't know. But if we're from the same God, oh my, this is one bipolar Jesus. We all agree on that, right?
I think we have to.
God has to be schizophrenic.
Doesn't feel like a question.
No, that original one wasn't a question. That was did you know what Ex Machina is? He asked me some version of that and I made the mistake of answering.
Oh, no.
Well, Barry Levinson also did that Joe Paterno movie. And I remember when that came out, when that was done, some people were like, oh, yeah, Joe Paterno didn't know about Jerry Sandusky. I'm like, you did not watch the same movie. Can they fix our brains so we think more like everybody? I'd be down with that study. Maybe therapy gets you to sort of like see other people's perspective and how they would come up with that. No, because they still have it. I'm thinking electroshock stuff.
Or you just want them to have a different perspective.
Well, if the majority of the world agrees Mother didn't make sense, somebody's probably right. There's people out there that think lobster is bullshit. It's like, well, the world agreed on that. I do think lobster is bullshit. You don't have to hide my feelings for me. I am loud and proud, Keith. I think lobster is bullshit. I think you're eating cockroaches with a lot of butter and just drink the butter and put some seawater into it. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah, I agree about lobster. Lobster grosses me out a lot. It's a big bug on your plate and you guys start drooling. It's very odd to watch. Break it open. I mean, it's really vile. Mm-hmm. It's like really gross. If you separated that from I don't know, if like you didn't know what food is, you're stranded on an island and then no, because lobsters would make sense at that point, but you had to eat bugs this whole time. But if you just put bugs on your plate, the most giant bug you can find, you'd be cool with that as long as it has butter. You know, and the more I think about it, the more I think, America, I'm amazed how much we do get along. How about that? There you are. There's a new perspective. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. What are you going to do? Kill myself. No. Huh? No. Call my sponsor, but if he's not around, yeah. Watch another movie on Netflix. Do you see people are quitting Fox News over Tucker Carlson's quote documentary Patriot Purge that is saying that these are patriots that actually I saw when it happened live. Even Fox was like, this is insane. But now months went by, of course, and they were patriots and it's a false flag operation. So it's all bullshit from the deep state, that insurrection that you saw on TV. He put a documentary out about it. Who did? Tucker Carlson. And so people are leaving Fox News. Just a couple that found their final straw. Wow. I wouldn't think anything would be a final straw. What? Doubt it. Okay. Is this whole show like playing the doubt again? Are we supposed to find like two truths and a lie or something? It suggests the Biden administration is coming for the real patriots, Trump voters. So it's definitely, keeping the flames going. The energy that Keith is having that's now affecting Chemda. You're like dodging bullets you aren't sure are there. It's like, I'm keeping up. We're doing it. It's fine. It's fun. Did you guys hear about the new Kid Rock song? No. How did we miss it? I want you guys to talk to. You got to look around this world and see what's doing. You're doing that for us. We're right here. We're listening. Kid Rock has a fabulous new song. Doubt it. That is correct. See, you got it. called "Don't Tell Me How to Live."
Yeah, of course. Everyone's been telling you how to live for years, Kid Rock. You weren't.
Yeah, I've never told him how to live. I've never really thought about him that much.
I don't think anyone has ever told him how to live. His name is Kid Rock.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants, clearly.
Yeah, it's not like Jim. It's Kid Rock.
It is. Yeah, you have to see it. It is shocking. It is ridiculous. Weird Al Yankovic tweeted out to everybody that's congratulating me right now on my Kid Rock parody video. Let me clarify, that's not me. That's actually Kid Rock.
That's so funny.
Telling everybody snowflakes and millennials, and he's not taking any more bullshit.
What bullshit was he taking?
Yeah, I don't know.
He used to take a little bullshit. He ain't taking it no more.
Did he list the bullshit he's been taking?
That's on the extended version. You have to see that live.
Okay. All right, we're just seeing the Cliff's Notes.
Mm-hmm. Did you know he had a restaurant?
What? No, where? Vegas?
What? Kid Rock. The name says it all. Of course, he's a restaurant. He's a restaurateur.
I think it's in Nashville. Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk and rock and roll steakhouse. It's a big
wow.
Big awning.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Boy, people are really telling him what to do. This poor guy. How's he living all this time? He finally gets to rebel. Thanks, kid.
My friend Adam said he went there. He got the fuck libtard club sandwich, and he's not pleased, but it was very good. He doesn't listen to health department regulations. You can eat the honky tonk steak off his honky tonk nuts. Here's more music news. You ready?
No, I'm not. First, I want to say that you notice Adam is still okay with Keith. Another close friend of Keith is Adam, and he's still okay because he mediocre like this restaurant. As soon as you like something, if Keith doesn't like it.
Nope. Now I'm mad at Adam. I just remembered this. He said 2001: A Space Odyssey makes complete sense.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
apparently
sorry,
all my
Adam.
friends are fucking geniuses.
I'm so sorry, Adam. You and Craig should hang out. Talk about it.
Yeah. At the fucking MoMA or something. You know, what are geniuses like?
At the smart place, the Apple store.
Yeah. Yeah. Go behind the bar there, you fucking geniuses. A pyramid or something together. I don't know. I don't know what they like, but I can't believe it's stuff I was doing with yous. Louis C.K. is nominated for a Grammy.
Oh, right. I know. He's so canceled. It's so hard.
Nominated were Lavelle Crawford, Chelsea Handler, Louis Black, Nate Bargatze, Kevin Hart, and Louis C.K. How funny would it be? Now, would you enjoy this or not enjoy it if Louis C.K. goes on stage and goes, all right, I got the award. Hey, fellow nominees, and then gives the jerk off symbol.
I would like him to take his dick out on stage. What's the big deal?
Who cares anymore? It's the funniest thing now.
Who gives a shit?
You love doing it, and no one will, and you won't get in trouble. You can do it.
Yeah. Why not do it?
Yeah.
Let me mention a Keith and the Girl episode if you want to hear the whole Louis C.K. stuff and why this is surprising to us. Episode 2938, Louis C.K. returns. That's Keith and the Girl episode 2938, Louis C.K. returns. Now, this brings us to everybody's favorite segment.
This is so scary. Do you feel that? You feel that, Hannah?
I'm actually very scared. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, I was going to say every listener's favorite, not guests. We're going to get into Hannah Boone's social media.
Oh, sorry. I do like this, Hannah. Hannah, but yours are the best.
Yours are the best. This is the price of being the best. Yeah. You have to explain yourself. First of all, I came across an article that you did for medium.com. And it talked about how you're not able to cry. Mm-hmm. Right? You say you're not able to. And everything just festers inside you and comes out as anger or compulsive sex, or you say eating a whole box of Oreos. And it might stem from, and I'm taking these ideas from your article, of course, that you don't like to see when other people cry because it gives them attention. And so no attention could be on you. Am I saying this right?
Which also stemmed from, in the same article, is when she was a kid, the adults around her cried, which meant that it wasn't her day to cry. She can't have feelings. She has to tend to these other feelings. And crying equals weakness. Crying equals no one's going to take care of me. And so By the way, reading your article, I cried. So I apologize for that. And also, how do you even have PMS? Like, all hail your article. It was fantastic. But, PMS really helps that little tear duct open.
Yeah, I know. I never ever cry. It takes something like it either takes something that's like so huge for me to cry or something that's just like barely, just like I find the crack, like it hits and it's just like there's no parking spot. And I'm just like, like,
if it's hysterical, it's historical.
Yeah. But yeah, I do want to say too, like hating when other people cry is a very subconscious sort of thing. Like, it's not like I'm out there like, you shouldn't be crying. Like, it's like a very like inner thing that happens. It's not like my viewpoint.
I think it's how the general public sees crying without admitting it. They get uncomfortable and you just want to make things better for someone and you want them to stop because that means like if they stop, they're probably feeling better. So yeah, I think there's a discomfort of that from everywhere.
Is it your job to save them?
I believe that my boyfriend fake cried because he was having when I was like 19, because he was having an affair, if you can call it that, at 19. And I bought it. I'm like, oh, no, anything to stop crying. Of course you didn't, honey. Of course you didn't do anything. Yeah,
that's the thing. That's why I hate crying, because it makes whatever I say moot now. Like, there's in an argument, if someone's like that, like not even an argument, but like a confrontation. If someone's crying, it's like, well, I can't tell you how I feel because you're the one crying. Like,
and I used to feel that way, but like, and I remember Keith would, if somebody cried, he would just stop talking, shut down, and like nothing else is going to happen because that's the end of the world. But you've gotten better, Keith. What's happening now?
Once you learned, you don't have to solve their problems. It's the easiest. I go doubt it and I walk away.
I learned that maybe 3 months ago. I was like, oh, I don't have to. Because this essay was an idea from forever ago. And then I rewrote it, but was like, I don't really feel a lot of this anymore. Like, I still can't cry, but I don't like, and because I've had people actually tell me like, stop trying to fix this. I just need you to listen. And I was like,
doubt it.
and then do you take it like they're being selfish? Like, you just need to put on a presentation for me, but it's obviously not a two-way street of any kind. That's a little rude. Do you take it like that?
No, I'm just I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I wouldn't want to hear bad advice either. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to like make you shut up. Right.
You're not an airplane pilot. Why are you telling me how to?
Yeah.
You wrote it. It goes off. You compare it to a fire alarm that your parents ripped out when you were a young age. It goes off about twice a year and always 6 months too late. Well, will you say this show Dope Sick? There wasn't one episode where I wasn't tearing up. I know this is different. Do you find yourself able to cry at movies?
Rarely. I try. Sometimes I'll put on something sad because I feel I need to cry and I'll like attempt, but like tearing up is good. It's not really crying. Yeah, the last time I cried was really weird. It was like in a dream, but I woke up and I had been crying in my sleep. It was really weird, but
that's heavy.
Yeah, but it wasn't a sad dream. I was just like, I feel like it just needed to happen.
Like a wet dream, but for the eyes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's the other crazy worlds you were talking about when we sleep. You are a version that cries. That's nuts.
It was super weird. I dreamt I had a baby and was holding my baby and I was crying and I woke up like, whoa, who was that? Like, I was
whoa.
Like, oh, yeah.
I would that would take me a week to get over. And like every other hour I'd be like, wait, do I have a baby? Nope. Okay. Just keep working.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really freaky. I woke up like,
I'm responsible.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't cry when I first held my baby brother, she writes, after I was in my first car accident, when my dad went to jail, when I was permanently separated from said baby brother, who was my world. I did once cry in a pharmacy bathroom because there was a problem with my insurance and I had to give them a call. Well, that'll do it. I mean, you're goddamn human.
Oh, yeah. That was, I like, the pharmacist was like, well, you're going to have to call your insurance company because this isn't going through. And I was like, and I like ran to the bathroom and was like, I can't do this. Like, I was so upset.
Yep. There's certain phone calls that I'm like, get a joint ready. I got to make a fucking phone call.
Yeah.
Excuse me to the both
Oh,
of
no.
you. I don't know. I don't know what you get ready.
I gotta
Get-
hide in a bathroom and get in the fetal position to make a phone call.
Make a cake. I'm ordering something over the phone.
What are your Thanksgiving plans? Do they include family, Hannah?
No, I'm going to have two. I'm going to my friend's house upstate for her Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to my boyfriend's and his family afterwards. I'm not seeing my brother went to go see our family this year, but I was like, no thanks.
That's self-love
you.
and self-care. Good job.
100%. I was like, why would I ever I remember counting down to when I was 18 and could move out. So I never had to do it again. And I tell you, I have not done it since.
Good for you. That's hard.
Yeah.
What are your plans, Hannah?
Well, funny you should ask, because right before the show started, which is 3 p.m. the day before Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law happens to be like, hey, I guess we forgot to mention, do you want to come over on Thanksgiving? And I was like, I didn't
You
know.
think it's a trick?
No, I think, I don't know. I think they don't pay attention to it. Like Thanksgiving is not really a thing. I'm wondering if they're even having, turkey or any kind of sit down dinner, or it's just, they know I have the day off, but it was just funny. But no, I said no, because we have plans to ride our bicycles to New Jersey and have a sandwich and a picnic and ride back. But now I'm wondering, is my brother doing something for Thanksgiving? Do we do anything? Does anyone care?
People like families, right? That's how nuts this world is. I say doubt it. I doubt it, but I don't know. I choose to believe a lot of people, and I think now I'm learning I shouldn't have.
I mean, this is the family I actually like, and I'm not going. So
that sounds like a great day, though. The best Thanksgiving I ever had was 2 or 3 years ago. I decided to just stay home and watch TV and order Chinese food, and it was the best.
Oh, you had Jewish Christmas on Thanksgiving.
I had Jewish Christmas on Thanksgiving, and it was the best Thanksgiving I've ever had. It was awesome.
I love that. I actually choose a lot of holidays and, bank closing days to stay at home, because that's when everybody just goes nuts. It's like, we get an extra day. I don't have a curfew. I gotta cram it all in. I have to see every single friend of mine in this day and eat everything. And it's like your cheat day for every aspect of your life. And I don't need to see people in that state. I sprinkle my crazy around the year. And that's
so sad. Well, it's so sad how overworked we are that, yeah, you're right. It's like we get one extra day and we're like, oh my God, I get to live my life. It's not really.
Yeah, that's right. Not really. You have to sit in traffic and go see your family. Shout out to the people outside of the US that are like, why do you keep doing this to you? And to you, I say, I understand it. We hear it. I think we're shedding it a little bit more, because traditions used to be such a big deal because it was all we had. Now, at least we're questioning our traditions and creating new ones so that we can opt into the actual things that make us feel good, or at least make us feel more comfortable than this fucking banana stuff that we grew up with.
And we know America can't take change fast. So we have Thanksgiving Day now. And I just realized this on my calendar the other day. Then the next day is Native American History Heritage. How you doing? And, I don't know what it is. It didn't take yet. But they're like, all right, enjoy that day. And then tomorrow, cry about it. And eventually whenever this country, we bring up free healthcare, it's like, how's that going to work all of a sudden? No. All right, economist. Let's not even worry about it now. We can't have two good things too fast. Let's slow it down. Maybe just lower diabetes prices. That I can understand we can do, but we can't do too good too fast. Hannah tweeted, the day I got out of rehab, my sister and my friends cursed me out, then cut me off, and I still don't know why. Have you talked since then? That was the month of 9, whatever that month is. I don't know if anybody knows. My boyfriend left. Now, was this the last rehab session? Is this the same boyfriend you met in rehab? I was confused by that.
It's the same boyfriend. We broke up for a day, and then we were fine. Yeah.
Do you think something major happened while you were using, and or you think they just kind of got fed up or are in a fed up state right now?
Well, it's different for everyone. My sister, I fucked up.
Okay.
While I was using. the friends was weird. I lost a lot of people after I went to rehab. Like they were with me while I was using, when I went into rehab, and then I got out of rehab. Well, first of all, there was a huge game of telephone of gossip going on about me. So like, I don't know what got mixed up, and then.
Isn't it funny? I'm sorry. Isn't it funny when you can tell that like you've had group chats and now they're group chatting like it's regular, but it's like you all seem like you've talked about this before and now you're just including me in as like the play by, what is happening? I know I'm missing something. I know you're talking about other things and it just feels so uncomfortable. And I don't know where to ask because of course no one's going to tell me.
Well, yeah, no, everyone was just, and I didn't find out till later, but everyone, I mean, to the point where my sister like called my therapist and tried to get him to tell her things. And he was like, that's illegal. Like, I don't know what's and so everyone was gossiping, but a lot, the most significant people that left my life, it's hard to explain, but we had the dynamic of, I was like an addict and they might be like, they were sort of very controlling yet, but I needed it. Like I was welcome, like the like controlling part of like taking care of me and like controlling, like telling me what to do all the time. And then out of rehab, I had like someone, for example, was demanding that I like immediately talk to her about my relapse. But my relapse was like pretty traumatic. Like I overdosed and stuff. It was like pretty traumatic. Like, I was like, I'm not ready to talk about it. And she stopped being my friend because she was like, you're not going to talk to me about it. Like I need to hear it right now. And I was like, I really can't talk about it yet. And that like, really like she completely cut me off and was like, how dare you? Which I think she wanted apologies, which I totally get. I was like, I will be happy to talk to you in like a month, but I just need time. And I think she didn't get it. And it seemed like I was just kind of being a bitch, but,
did you do something bad to this person?
Not that I can think of, but
what do you owe her apologies for? She wanted to hang out one night. Who gives a fuck?
No, for not having the same codependent relationship now that she's trying to get better. So yeah. So why aren't I in the position of you coming to me constantly?
Right. And it was weird because I thought people were going to be so relieved that I wasn't doing that anymore. But people were like very upset. And I lost like 3 significant friends and my sister. But my sister's a different story. But the 3 friends, like it was very much like them telling me what to do and me being like, actually, I'm doing what my sponsor says right now. I don't need that. And they like completely were like, well, we don't need you then. And I was
that's very painful. That's really painful. That's a mourning loss, a heavy, heavy mourning loss. Wow.
I just saw Dope Sick. Did the sister situation involve the jewelry box?
No.
Okay. All right.
But it was stealing. So.
Okay. All right.
Oh, well, you were close, huh?
Were you able to pay her back?
Like you're
Were you able to pay her back?
No, I stole pills.
A boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I stole her husband. I stole her baby. So he's a babe.
You stole the pills. Well, that makes sense. Like I'd almost be more glad that you stole pills and not, I don't know, like money? Pills. Sure. Pills. That's what you're trying to get your hands on. That's not so personal.
Well, and the thing is, I stole pills, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't your sister stop being a bitch? But
one was actually weird because she didn't stop talking to me because of that. She she told everyone I know that I did it, but didn't talk to me. So that was sort of like, I don't know, but like whatever. She was probably just freaking out. But then she was like, I'll forgive you if we can talk to your therapist together about it. And I asked my therapist and he was like, we're not in a space to do that. So I told her, my therapist said no. And she was like, then bye. And then cut me out. Oh. And I was like, but that wasn't even my decision. But there was like a lot. Like I said, I think a lot went on without me included. So there's a lot I don't know about.
And there's a history too of like, it's also not her first time also.
Right. Final straw stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe without even her realizing that it was the final straw and just kind of putting it on one thing.
Why did you and your boyfriend break up for a day, seeing as how you met in rehab and getting out is the greatest day?
I texted somebody that I used to sleep with, but I didn't, it was not pure intentioned, but I didn't intend to meet up with them, but I just texted like, hi, how are you? And it was a very basic conversation, nothing dirty or anything.
Right.
But then the person like asked me out and I was like, oh no, I'm in a relationship. And they were like, well, do you want to cheat? And I was like, no,
Oh,
sorry.
wow.
I was like, no, I don't. And then I like blocked them and was like, but then I felt like guilty about it. And my sponsor was like, definitely don't tell him because that's pointless. You're just doing like, just pray about it and share about it in meetings and stuff. And I immediately told him about it and was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. And he was like, I need space. Like, he was just like, I'm very hurt. And then was like, okay, we don't have to break up because you just texted somebody. And I was like, yeah, I know. But
does that make the boyfriend distrust the therapist for a second? Like they said, pray on it and don't tell me.
Oh, the sponsor.
Yeah,
he was mad at my sponsor. He was definitely mad at my sponsor. But then he said his sponsor told him he would have said the same thing.
Okay.
Like, there's no point in like telling someone something just to alleviate your guilt. Like you have to really think about like, is this just hurting someone? Do they need to know this?
Did something really happen? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Well, she already knows something happened. Like she said, it wasn't the purest of intention. So there's your answer.
Oh, yes.
I did like kind of miss this person and wanted to, but like I realized I was like in fantasy in my head and like none of that's real. If I actually like saw this person, it would be like very like.
Isn't that part of like the sex and love addiction where it's not really physical or permanent? Like you're not trying to get someone to fall in love, but you're trying to get that slight hit of dopamine from this person will be happy to hear from me in a way that I don't have to be honest about.
Exactly. Yes. And I went to SLAA a little bit because of that. And then me and my sponsor kind of agreed, like, I'll stick to one program for a year and then I can sort of more consistently go to SLAA.
SLAA is Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous.
Yeah. And
what the fuck is QAnon? How many are there? Oh my God. Does that bum you out when you have a sponsor and they say pray on it? Are you a prayer?
I'm not yet. I don't know. My way of praying is very much just like talk, just like think, like talking in my head, just like very like, hey,
right.
Could use.
I don't think. To me, I have trouble with the whole prayer and God and stuff like that. But I don't think they mean it like say a Hail Mary. And I know they don't mean it like that. They more mean it like before you react, run it through at least in your head, like it's clear and real. And then if you can articulate it to yourself or quote God, then you can maybe articulate it outwardly.
Or like meditate on it. Yeah. Like my sponsor always says God is in the pause. Like when we pause before we act, like that is prayer and God for my sponsor. Like I just say God because it's the easiest word to say, but it's not, I don't mean like the man in the sky or anything.
My first sponsor meant God. And I said, my theory, God's bipolar. We're seeing all these people, He's like, don't say that. I'm like, no, I just meant he gives bipolar to babies. And they said, I have another number for you. So our relationship, Hannah, right.
Be a treat.
Hannah writes, picked up my antidepressants today and the pharmacist was like, hang in there. And it's like, if they can resist saying that to me at McDonald's pickup window, you could figure it out too.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So good.
He did. He was like, hang in there. And I didn't get it. And then I looked at the bag and was like, oh, right. Yeah.
That's so condescending, but it's well intentioned, which is why you can't really be like, fuck off.
Yeah, I wasn't mad. I was just like, that's silly.
Uh-oh. On Twitter, red alert. My boyfriend is trying to give me a compliment by saying models should actually look like me because I'm not that skinny.
Yeah.
There's so much in there. Stop talking.
I'm not so skinny like those fucking hangers. And yay.
He's like, the people that should be in advertisement, like he's basically, first of all, like, yeah, there shouldn't be airbrushed eating disorder. Like that shouldn't be what's advertised. And I think that's what he was trying to say. He's like, people should look like you, like an average American woman. And I was like, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right. When you do somebody's podcast and you're open, obviously, do you go back and read the comments from listeners to see if you could cry?
I have done it. Yes. I have done it with this show and seen comments where I'm like, woo. But yeah, I definitely do that. And then I have learned to not do that.
Taking a month, she wrote, a month-long break from social media. Feel free to miss the shit out of me and follow me at the Disordered Pod. You didn't last 2 weeks, by the way, Hannah.
No, I did not.
Here's one. Gonna delete Instagram, so be ready to get all your Hannah Boone slop here at the website, and your Instagram's still up.
Fully on Instagram.
This is very
fully on Instagram. Yeah. Because then I am about to do it. And then it takes one comedian to be like, you can't do that. And then I'm like, I can't. And then I'm like, oh, but like Instagram, I am ready to delete because I don't really, it doesn't do anything for my career.
Well, how are you going to do your shopping? She writes, when I spend a lot of money, I'm like, well, that's New York. But like, I just bought a bunch of shirts off Instagram. Nothing to do with New York. It's hard because, you know, as much as even if you're aware that social media can fuck you up, it is so fun. Hannah brings up, I'm scrolling through Venmo, watching couples go from being like heart, coffee to phone bill to, since you blocked me on everything else, this is the only way I can reach you. It is fun to see. I didn't like this on my side, but I'm sure it's fun to other people when me and my girlfriend had a fight. But she used my Amazon account to download a show and then Venmo'd me that she paid for it, like a $6 TV. I'm like, yeah, baby. So people think I charge you $6 for TV.
Watch TV.
Like I never charge you $6. Like it's for TV. How did I figure that out? We'll leave though on a happy tweet here. Gonna end my suicide note with BRB. I enjoyed that. You ever think what you'd put on your gravestone?
What?
You ever think what you want on your gravestone?
I think I'm gonna stick with BRB.
BRB is a good one. I'm thinking assume we're recording. That's where I'm at right now. I don't want to get in trouble for your bullshit. Just assume we're still recording.
God, please, yes. It's the only reason to bury anyone.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have a microphone sticking out of it. I don't know. Out of the ground. Like an eternal flame, but it's a mic that can't be, vandalized.
And you're actually recording.
And maybe I am.
Yeah, but just assume it.
Just assume I am. Assume it's going somewhere. An Indian man was declared dead after a road accident and put in a morgue freezer. Oops. The next day, the family found him alive, 45 years old. He was in a motorcycle accident, declared dead on arrival by a private clinic before being taken to the government hospital. He was put in the freezer there. I don't love these, although I did pay $3 for the newspaper. Nothing was in it for me except this article. And I'm like, worth it. So maybe you're right. Okay, I talked it out. It's just
you just prayed on it. You didn't even realize.
It's just one more fact that tells you my idea is brilliant, that when you die, they throw you in the room with other dead bodies, leave you there for 3 days. There's a buzzer on the inside to get out. Why not? Too many people are being put away, not dead. And it's shocking. And it's happening all over the world.
I say this every time you say that. They used to do that. I believe that's why it's called a dead ringer. But they used to put a bell or a thing to pull. So if they buried you by accident because you drank so much or whatever, put you in like this weird coma, when you woke up 3 days later, you'd pull on the thing. People would unbury you.
Do it again. Now I know they're going to have to start putting weird signs on the inside, like, don't fuck the bodies, just push the button. Because, people are weird. But I think you'd save some lives for sure.
Sounds like it. Sorry, right? Keith. Nobody cares. Oh, no.
Nobody cares about these bodies. They like to say, I don't want to give you too much good stuff too fast. I understand that.
Well, I'm not trying to make you feel better. You can keep crying about that one. That one's hard.
That is hard.
Yeah, that one's hard.
Seems pretty dead, right, Bob? Pretty dead. Then the family comes in. The woman said, here's a quote. He's not at all dead. How did this happen? Look, he wants to say something. He's breathing. Then the hospital's got to act like it's a miracle. Number of miracles today on the board. It's like 72 this year.
Just like how many virgins. Weird.
It's too much.
That 72 number. It's very strange.
Magic number. And it adds up to 9, which is a magic number.
Oh, I love that you think that way. You ever look at an address and you're like, that's a good address because if you add this and you add that,
license plates too.
You see how Hannah and I just become official friends? Thank you, everybody. You were here.
Mm-hmm.
Where numbers ever happen? These are the geniuses that understand mother. Now, at first, I didn't know. Do I mention Hannah Boone's accounts, right? Or on social media. But apparently we solved it. And yes, absolutely. She'll be there for quite some time. Boone Comedy on everything. You want to take a look. The website, boonecomedy.com. And hilarious to talk to, hilarious on social media.
And she'll be in our very private silent trailers, only for our Kickstarter supporters. I mean, this lineup is magical. We just added Micah Fox and the boyfriend.
Oh,
McLaughlin. Yeah. So he's added on the psychic witch. Hannah, do you know that you're playing against a psychic? Well, with a psychic witch.
I mean, I love that, but how will I ever win?
No, you're playing. He's on your side. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. Perfect.
But you're working with the human. I'm working with the spiritual advisor. So we'll see. All right. Let me mention this. Oh, here's a letter from somebody. Sophie says, Keith and Kenda, you're doing bad math again.
I did so good in math in 8th grade. And then from there, it was downhill.
I'm giving $15 to the Kickstarter. But how will you make any money if everyone does that? If we all give $15 to the Kickstarter, you're giving it right back. According to your Kickstarter page, if 500 people participate, then they get $15 VIP. I love you both, but the math doesn't add up. But legally, you have to do it. So I just donated. Good luck. Look, so mind your business. No, look,
not we're not Hannah. Sophie minds her business. Oh, you just said that right as Hannah spoke.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah.
Oh no, that's fine.
No, I just meant to say we're not mathematicians. Okay, we're podcasters. So thank you for supporting the Kickstarter. We already have it in our head that it's nerve-wracking. We have to complete it. So I don't need to hear this bullshit. All of a sudden, I'm in the STEM program. Like, can we just fund the Kickstarter already? You know. And I want to say, if you're visiting family and you like them, subscribe them to Keith and the Girl. And if you're visiting family and you don't like them, subscribe them to Keith and the Girl. Okay. Hannah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so good to talk to you guys.
Have a good rest of the week. We'll talk to you soon.